Another jelly sandwich, Clement?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you've got such nice things, Sheila.
Well, Willie has a friend in the import business. They're mostly seconds if you look.
The apartment's just lovely.
We'll be looking for someplace bigger soon.
Sheila, you don't mean to say that...
Oh, no, nothing like that. No, it's just there's not much room to entertain for when we start to entertain. Half a moment while I fetch.
Mother, what's this for?
It's not for anything, dear. It's ornamental.
There's an awful lot to dust. Still, I suppose she's used to that.
Jane, that's rude.
Oh, I wouldn't say it to her, of course.
Well, I should hope not. Oh, children, look.
Oh, Sheila.
There we are.
Oh, Sheila, you shouldn't have.
Well, I don't see you very often.
For me? Of course it is, silly. Who else is 12? Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, Sheila. Come on, blow.
Make a wish first.
Yes.
Oh, it's a long one.
What's your wish? I'm not going to tell. Oh, come on. No, it wasn't true.
And how's Willie? Is he getting along well?
Certainly is. Carriage works couldn't run without him.
Oh.
Has he got his own motor car yet?
Well, any minute now. We're saving up for something special, and it's going to have a top you can put up in bad weather.
Will he take us out in it?
Sure he will.
Only if you're good.
That ride he gave us was a beautiful experience. I wrote one of my best poems about it.
How does he get on with Mr. Reed?
They tolerate each other, that's all you can say. I don't think Mr. Reed really knows what a good man he's got. Anyhow, Willie's expected to set up on his own account quite soon.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, how about yourself? How's Mr. Trevelyan? Is he busy at the store?
Oh, he leaves that side of things. He leaves that side of things mostly to his father nowadays. John's main interest is the mail order side of things. You remember when you came to see us, it was just starting?
That's right, selling boots.
That's right.
He imports them now, from Buffalo. Hundreds and hundreds every week.
That's a fact. I never knew when I married John he'd such a head for business.
He looks so spiritual. He does not.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, when you look back on everything. Those two men we married, in some ways, they're quite alike.
Are they?
And both of them are such charmers, they turn any woman's head. But in the end, it's character that counts.
Yes.
I think we were both very lucky.
Father works awfully hard. I admire him. There aren't many people who work as hard as that.
Well, children, I think we should be going now.
Oh, no! The train doesn't leave for ages.
Yes, it does. Don't argue, Clement.
Won't you finish up your cake and... Oh, it's just so nice seeing you all again.
Can we come for tea on my birthday?
Of course you can.
And ride on the carousel? It won't be there. It's winter.
Well, we'll just think of something. A picture show, perhaps?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it was really kind of you to ask us. We've enjoyed ourselves so much.
Well, me too. It's just like old times. You've no idea how much I missed you all. That's Willie. Come see who's here.
Mrs. Trevelyan, what a pleasure.
Hi, Willie.
Oh.
Will you take us for another ride?
Yes, go on,
please. I saw a motor car the other day.
Now, children. Leave Mr. Sutcliffe alone. Where are your manners?
I'd be honored if you call me Willie.
Well, they haven't stopped talking about your motor car. It was really good of you.
Well, wait till you see my next one. Olive green, maroon upholstery, 8 horsepower, 15 miles an hour.
Oh, really fast.
Now, we really must be going.
Promise you'll come to Tamarack again?
I promise.
It's been lovely to see you, Sheila. We mustn't let it be so long next time.
That we won't. Bye, Clement. Bye, Jean.
Bye.
See you soon.
Right this way, right this way. Hats and coats, hats
Goodbye,
and coats.
Sheila.
Right, now, don't take the first chair.
We miss you. Come and see us soon.
I will.
When I come up, we'll push.
Goodbye, Willie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Trevelyan.
Look forward to seeing you.
A pleasure.
Come along.
Not the first stairs, second stairs, to the left. Cheerio. Where have we all been?
The Canadian Industrial Exhibition.
Good God, woman, what a place to choose.
Oh, What's wrong with it?
Oh, don't know. Girl isn't safe there anymore. Full of lascivious, carny folk.
It wouldn't make any impression, Willie. I give him my married look.
Any more where that come from?
We'll see. No, I've got to get you supper. Here, have a piece of cake to be going on with.
Oh, righto. Well, I've had quite a profitable day.
That's nice.
Well, that motor car I told you about, the one that daft Eccles drove into the ravine,
No.
one that took 4 bloody horses to pull out.
I remember Mr. Reed didn't want to pay. He said it was no use for anything but scrap.
Well, I've been giving it a bit of attention in my spare time. Tell you the truth, I was going to make Mr. Reed an offer.
Willie, I mean, you know we can't afford a car. Soon, maybe, but there's no sense in rushing things.
Anyhow, question doesn't arise. A man walked in today. He took one look at it. He said, I'll give you $200.
For that wreck?
I told you, I've been working on it. May not be in tip-top order, but it looks all right. Any tea to follow that cake?
Yeah, never mind. What did, Mr. Reed have to say to that?
Mr. Reed?
It's his motor car, isn't it?
That's a matter of opinion, Sheila. You could say that it wasn't a motor car at all, till I got my hands on it.
Oh, Willie.
It's what's called initiative, the drive towards success.
Yeah. You'll get there all right.
And I'll take you with me. I beg your pardon?
Nothing.
You know, seeing you just now with Mrs. Trevelyan, I was quite proud of you.
Thanks.
It's quite hard to believe you were once her skivvy.
It's too much of a lady to remind me of it, so don't you startle me.
Whoa! Yeah, you should be in the moving pictures, such fire and passion.
And the only place I'm going to move is out if you don't behave.
Oh, no, please. No, I love you, really. Give us a kiss. I
You're
want
going
to
to smash the china.
No, just
Willie,
one
you're
kiss,
what you
please.
are. Oh, that's Siobhan. She said she was going to drop by. Go. Yeah.
All right, I'll go. Come in, Siobhan.
Excuse me. Name's Cameron. Detective Inspector Cameron.
Yes?
Is your name William Sutcliffe?
Yes.
They wouldn't tell me anything, only that they were going to take him away.
Well, you were quite right to come. I'm glad you did. We'll do anything we can to help, won't we, John?
All aboard!
Didn't they even tell you what he was charged with?
I only heard them say that Mr. Reed had laid information. That's the man that Willie works for. And they wanted to search the place. Willie wouldn't let them.
How did he stop them?
Well, he took out his wallet, and there was a lot of money in it, and he said, this is what you'll be looking for. What am I going to do?
That's not a ladder, that's a snake. It's a ladder. It's got 2 straight lines on either side.
Being sentimental,
No.
Tara.
I'm not.
No,
Go and get ready for
that's
bed, you two.
ladder. We
Here you
haven't
go.
finished
Bed.
yet,
You too, Jane.
Take
Come
your
on.
game up with you.
though. Night.
Good night, Jane.
Night.
Night, come.
All I said was I'm not surprised. Remember when James employed him at the tannery?
But I don't think it's fair to assume that he's guilty because of that one incident.
That's all we know about him.
Well, people change.
Not that one. Always plausible enough. He's a hard worker, too, but he's artful. Artful as a pack of monkeys.
Anyway, it's not Willie Sutcliffe I'm concerned about. It's Sheila. Whatever he's done, she'll be the one to suffer.
Off on the way, unfortunately.
She was so happy and so proud of the life she'd made. All that's going to be destroyed. We can't just let it happen without trying to do something.
All right. What do you suggest?
You must go and talk to Mr. Reed.
I hardly know the man.
Well, you've done business with him. He listened to you. Please, John.
hear you've been doing pretty good. There's a lot of money in that mail order racket. Not too concerned about the quality.
We try to give good value, Mr. Reed. Same as I'm sure you do.
What beats me, though, is how you find time to go running around like some kind of unpaid lawyer.
I'm trying to find out what the man's charged with. Now, surely you can furnish that information.
Embezzlement. Stealing from his employer. Maximum sentence 14 years, penal servitude. Does that answer your question, Mr. Trevelyan? I'm a busy man.
There must be some mistake.
No mistake.
That man's worked for you for 2 years.
And robbed from me all that time, no doubt. You want to know what he was doing? Repairing old wrecks of motor cars in my time, on my premises, and then selling them and putting the money in his pocket. I don't know how you run your business, Mr. Trevelyan, but I doubt whether you'd stand for that. So I'm asking myself, what's your interest in Willie Sutcliffe?
I met the man twice. First time, I punched him in the nose.
Yeah?
And the second time, we were friends. I don't hold a grudge, Mr. Reed.
You're suggesting I do?
That's a very serious charge you brought
The
against him.
business community must be protected.
All right. All right. But before you proceed any further, shouldn't you consider that you might hurt some people who are quite innocent? The man's wife, for instance.
It's not something I've given much thought to. Why should you?
I happen to know Mr. Sutcliffe.
I do, eh?
She used to work for my wife.
Yeah. A lady's maid, huh? A good looker, was she? Now, here, Mr. Trevelyan. That's no reason to come in here trying to pervert the course of justice.
Oh, damn that man.
John.
Well, he had the nerve to tell me, to my face, that Oh, never mind.
You were interested in Sheila?
Why would you say a thing like that?
Mr. Reed's the kind of man you say he is, then that's the conclusion he jumped to.
Yes. Quite.
So, we'll have to go somewhere else for help.
Take it up to the tannery. Sam will check it in. Oh, yes. Well, what can I do?
Well, you're a man of influence, James. Can't you speak to Mr. Reed?
My influence, as you call it, won't last long if I use it without discrimination.
Oh, James.
One has to weigh up carefully when to intervene and when to let justice take its course.
All right, I'll wait while you weigh up.
Oh, you and John will rush into things, always letting your emotions rule your heads instead of giving everything proper thought. Now, I like to keep a balance between humanitarianism and common sense.
Yes, James.
I know how fond you are of Sheila. Obviously, her welfare is your main concern. So what we've got to ask ourselves is, what, in the long run, is best for her? And my considered opinion, Clara, is that Willie Sutcliffe is no damn good and she'd be well rid of him. Well, you asked me for my advice.
I asked for your help, James.
Damnation. Poor man. Poor silly girl. Now, why do you suppose he would have taken a chance like that? And with a woman like her to be honest for? Lord, what more could he want? Anyway, he's done it now, hasn't he? He's gone straight to the bottom. And if I know that girl, she'll wait till he shows his face again. And God knows how long a time.
You got him locked up already, you know that, Edgar.
Yes. I suppose I have. Still, I don't wish it on him. I was just trying to imagine the suffering she'll go through because of him, that's all. It's her I'm thinking about now, and I don't mind saying it.
I know.
Do you now, you smart old biscuit and beef man? Well, the hotel is beginning to pay its way. Have I told you, John?
No. Congratulations, Edgar.
And you're not doing so badly yourself.
No.
So here's what we'll do. We'll split it right down the middle, 50-50. What do you say?
Split what, Edgar?
The best damn lawyer there is for Willie Sutcliffe.
For Willie?
Thank you.
When they said I had a visitor, I didn't think it'd be you.
Well, I'd have been here sooner, but I'm not very good in these places.
Nobody is.
Well, if you're anything like me, you didn't sleep last night.
Right enough.
You can't stretch very well in here. Did you find that?
I sit a great deal.
Still, you look reasonably well.
Well, you didn't come to inquire about me health. We've only got 10 minutes. Then they lock me up again.
Yes. I'll come straight to it.
About time.
We're going to get you out of here. John Trevelyan, myself, we're going to make certain that you walk away from here a free man.
Don't tell me you've got a rope ladder up your sleeve.
Better than that. A lawyer, Mr. Bartley Best, KC, top man in his profession.
For me, you mean?
He's the finest, very high up in the Liberal Party. Hasn't lost a case.
I can't afford a man like that.
It's taken care of.
You and Mr. Trevelyan? Why? Can't believe it. I don't know what to say. Well, I've never done a good turn for either of you. Quite the opposite, in fact. So why?
Justice, Willie. Both of us believe in justice.
Justice, eh? Is that a fact? Well, I can't do much more than thank you, I suppose. You just wait till I get out of here. I'll have that paid back in jig time.
No, it doesn't matter.
It does. To me, it does. I've got to always be free and clear, that's me.
Well, that's important, is it?
Important, certainly is important. I ought to be better, too. Better than some, anyway. For a while, I was. And I fell back. Well, what can I do for Sheila now? Nothing. I guess she really did herself wrong with me, eh? But in case anyone's interested, she's all mine, just the same, in or out of here, and she can't live without me. Loves me to bits, she does.
I'm sure she does. Well, I'd better go now.
Yes, well, thank Mr. Trevelyan, John, for me, and you. It's not over yet, is it?
Hello.
Oh, my. I didn't expect to see you here.
No. I brought a bit of news. Willie will tell you.
You're looking fit?
Oh, and so are you. So are you, Sheila. Well, this has been terrible for you, but it'll all pass.
Yes, I expect it will.
Sheila, that you?
And we'll be there. Don't you worry about it.
And thank you for coming to see him.
Oh, no trouble. No trouble at all.
difficulty, as I see it, lies in the initial response of the accused when he was apprehended. It was most unfortunate, most unwise, to volunteer the information that he had more than $200 about his person.
Mr. Best, excuse me, but isn't that the reaction of an honest man? Someone who had nothing to conceal?
He told the police he was going to hand it over, sir.
To Mr. Reed the next day.
Oh, gentlemen, we are not here to speculate as to whether the man Sutcliffe was innocent or guilty. I proceed on the assumption that all my clients are entirely blameless until the court finds otherwise. Now, the question is, how do we convince the jury?
Well, there must be witnesses. The other men in the carriage works, they know Willie wasn't pocketing the money.
The boot, Mr. Trevelyan, seems to be somewhat on the other foot. The prosecution intends to produce several of Sutcliffe's workmates in addition to this Mr. Reeves.
Oh, that's Reed, sir.
Yes. I don't suppose we could plead necessity.
The man's name is Reed, sir.
I heard you, Mr. Sturgis. Necessitas non habet legem always goes down well. Or, as you might say, an empty belly has no conscience. But since the defendant was earning $12 a week, I doubt if that would wash.
Frankly, do you think he has a chance?
Oh, I am the most incurable of optimists, Mr. Trevelyan. After 30 years devoted to fighting the battles of the underdog, I know that even the worst case has a silver lining. Did you, by the way, remember to bring the banker's draft?
The accused, William Sutcliffe, came to Canada from England in the winter of 1899. After several spells of casual employment, he obtained a position with Reed's Carriage Works, situated at 280 Front Street East, Toronto. His duties consisted of general repair work and maintenance of vehicles. Under the guidance of the proprietor, Mr. Jonas Reed, he eventually became a skilled motor mechanic and was to some extent placed in charge of that side of the business. The prosecution will show that he used his position of trust systematically to defraud his employer, Mr. Reed.
Milord.
Yes, Mr. Best.
My learned friend used the word systematically. Well, according to the charge sheet, there is only one accusation relating to one specific transaction. Do we infer that the prosecution has others up its sleeve?
Mr. Best, a fraud may be systematic if it extends over a period of time. Please try not to interrupt.
Shall I go on, my lord?
Please do, Mr. Pierce.
In due course, we shall be hearing from the employer, Mr. Reed, from one of the accused's workmates, and from Mr. Selby, a gentleman who was induced to part with $200 under the mistaken impression that the money would be handed over to Mr. Reed. When you have heard the evidence, my lord, and members of the jury, I submit there will be no doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused. Call Mr. Jonas Reed.
Call Mr. Jonas Reed.
Jonas Reed.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence which I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your name Jonas Arthur Reed?
It is.
And are you the proprietor of Reed's Carriage Works at 280 Front Street East, Toronto?
That is correct.
Will you tell the court how you met William Sutcliffe?
He came to my place about 18 months ago and asked for work.
Did he have any previous experience that you know of?
None whatsoever.
And did he receive any instruction from you, Mr.
I
Reed?
taught him everything he knows.
At the time of the alleged offense, what was his position with your firm?
He was in charge of the carriage repair workshop.
A position of some trust?
Most certainly.
In the normal course, would any money pass through his hands? Customers' money?
No, not usually. Normally, the customer would pay me by cash or banker's draft. At times, of course, I might not be there to collect payment. Then Sutcliffe would.
And what were his instructions with regard to any money he might collect?
To hand it over to me at the earliest opportunity.
Now, do you recall a particular motor car, a U.S. long-distance coupe, which came in for repairs approximately 1 month ago?
Yes, I remember it very well. The customer was interested in buying it. He took it out for a trial ride.
And what happened, Mr. Reed?
He drove it into the ravine. The motor car was so badly damaged, I thought it was a total loss.
But in spite of its condition, it was still your property.
Yes, that's right, it was. So I brought it back to the workshop and had Sutcliffe take a look at it.
With what result?
He patched it up, made it look as good as new. I'll give him credit. He's got a gift for that.
Mechanically sound, was it?
Well, I couldn't say. Outward appearances are more his line. He made it look good enough for a customer to come in and offer $200.
Oh, my lord, I must object. Does the witness have any first-hand knowledge of the transaction?
No doubt we will be hearing from the customer, Mr. Best.
Yes, that is correct, my lord.
I was objecting to the court hearing the evidence at second hand, that's all.
Yes, you made your point. Please continue, Mr. Pierce.
Did you at any time receive $200 from the accused in respect of the sale of this motor car which had fallen into the ravine and been repaired?
No, I did not.
Thank you. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Mr. Best.
Mr. Reed, you said in reply to my learned friend that the motor car as a result of this accident was a total loss.
Yes.
Nevertheless, a customer was willing to pay $200.
Mr. Best, is that not precisely the statement that you objected to?
I objected to hearing it from this witness, yes.
I must confess, not for the first time in this court, that I don't know where you're leading us.
My lord, if I may explain...
I'd rather you just rephrase the question.
May we take it that the motor car was in considerably improved condition?
You mean after it was brought back to my workshop?
After Mr. Sutcliffe worked on it.
Yes, I'll accept that.
Would you also accept that these improvements were due entirely to the efforts of the accused?
Well, in a way, yes.
Would it not seem reasonable, Mr. Reed, that if the motor car was sold as a result of those improvements, that a commission of some sort should be paid to the accused?
That was not our arrangement, sir. He was paid a salary, no commission.
Not a very generous way of treating your most valuable employee, Mr. Reed.
He was lucky enough to get the job, in my opinion. There's not many would take on that kind of man. I know the type well enough, out for whatever they can personally get. No loyalty to anything, except a dollar in his pocket or somebody else's.
You don't like immigrants, do you, Mr. Reed?
I like the hard-working, honest kind.
You mean you like immigrants who will accept low wages without complaint because they're too afraid to open their mouths and because there's no one to speak up for them? Is that the kind of immigrant you like?
Best, I will not have political speeches in my court. Have you any relevant questions to ask this witness?
No further questions, my lord.
You may leave the witness box. Lord, my next witness is the customer who bought the motor car. Call Mr. Samuel Selby.
Oh, Mr. Samuel Selby.
To get some air.
Samuel Selby?
I'll come with you. You stay here.
Our man is an absolute idiot, money down the drain.
Don't say that yet, Edgar.
You call that a cross-examination?
Nothing but the truth.
What is your full name, please?
Samuel Selby.
And do you reside at 22 Sherburne Street?
Are you all right? I'm not going to faint, don't worry. I just couldn't stand hearing what that man was saying. It made me feel sick to my stomach. I mean, Willie ran that place for him. He must have hated him all the time.
He certainly did seem rather bitter. Jealous, it sounded like.
Yes, because Willie's young and strong and knows more about that job than he ever will.
Now, don't worry. Willie is going to be all right.
Sense to keep his mouth shut.
He's got to defend himself.
Just answer the questions. That's what the lawyer said. You stay calm and you don't get into any arguments. You know, Willie, I would really like a glass of water if they got such a thing.
I'll get you one.
How long had this been going on?
How long had what?
Smartening up motor cars and selling them without the knowledge of Mr. Reed.
I didn't do it on this occasion or any other.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. How many motor cars do you think he has in the workshop? You think he wouldn't miss one?
I'm asking the question, Sutcliffe.
Sorry.
Let's stick to this one example, then. the U.S. long-distance coupe. You heard the evidence of Mr. Selby that he gave you $200.
I'm not denying that.
But you told my learned friend that you intended to hand it over to Mr. Reed.
That's right.
How much of it?
All of it, of course.
Did you give a receipt to Mr. Selby?
I forgot.
You forgot? This must have been the most important sale you'd ever made on behalf of your employer. And somehow the question of a receipt just slipped your mind. Are you asking the jury to believe that, Sutcliffe? I suggest that you intended to give a small amount to Mr. Reed for the supposedly wrecked motor car and keep the rest of the $200 for yourself.
That's not true.
What did you come to Canada for?
Come to Canada?
Yes, what for? Because you thought it would make you rich?
I thought I'd have a better chance.
Because you thought people here would be more easygoing?
Oh, nothing like that at all.
Easier to cheat?
I thought I found justice here. Social justice, everyone equal, but it's not like that. A working chap doesn't stand a chance. It's men like that bugger Reed who come out on top because you're all the same. You stick together and kick the others down. It isn't exactly paradise, you know.
Uncle James, is there any news?
No, none of them have come back yet, so I thought I'd come and see you off to bed. Come on.
Oh, we can manage. Anyway, Gran is upstairs with Jonathan. Do you know any good stories, Uncle James?
Stories? No. I don't believe I do.
The jury's coming in now.
All rise.
Members of the jury, have you decided on your verdict?
We have, my lord.
Do you find the accused William Sutcliffe guilty or not guilty of the offense as charged?
Guilty, my lord.
The prisoner will stand.
Mr. Best.
My lord.
In view of the gravity of the offense, I shall postpone sentence until you have had the opportunity to bring forward whatever evidence of character may be available. Court is adjourned till Monday, 10 o'clock.
All rise.
Well, if the worst comes, I hope you know I'm not sorry I got you to marry me. I'd have done anything for you. You know that.
Done too much, perhaps. Sorry.
Oh, that. God, it's funny, that. I have to confess I did that for myself. Little extra brought in was for us both, but the deed was for me. All my own, that is. It's me, you see. I can't be content in the shadow. I need the sunshine, I do. Well, I don't know what else I am. But I'm not a tramp. I'm not.
Of course you're not, silly man.
I'm a warrior, that's me. Gonna be up on the front. Just have to be. Might as well be dead as in the back lines. You understand that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you understand that, don't you? There. Yeah, you see it too. God, I'm frightened white. I'm not sorry I tried to push myself a bit. I got better brains than be someone else's shirt tail all my life.
There's still a chance.
Well, one thing's for certain.
What might that be?
Bit more time, I'd have got you to really love me.
You're putting far too much responsibility onto me.
We've done everything we can. Now it's up to you.
Yes, but giving money isn't quite the same thing. Would you go into the witness box and say that Willie Sutcliffe was an upright character? Would you, Edgar?
Oh, we're not asking you to do that, James.
I suppose I could say he's a hard worker, but further than that, I wouldn't care to go.
That's all we want, James.
Yes, but giving evidence is a very serious matter. I'll have to give it careful consideration. I don't want to mislead anybody. And supposing he's acquitted and does the same thing all over again, I don't want that on my conscience, do I?
Come on, Clara. We'll go and talk to the tannery foreman. He won't carry as much weight to score.
You'll do no such thing.
Well, then?
Edgar, when are you ever going to give me time to think?
This court is now in session. All rise.
Mr. Best.
My lord.
As you are aware, I adjourned these proceedings so that you might have an opportunity to bring forward some evidence of character. Am I to understand that you have been unable to do so?
Regrettably, my lord.
Very well, then. Let the prisoner stand.
The prisoner will stand.
My lord, I do seem to have a witness after all. If your lordship pleases, I would like to call Mr. James Sturgis, a former employer of the prisoner.
Very well. Now, Mr. Sturgis, since you are here to give evidence of character, there's no need for you to take the oath.
I would prefer to do so, my lord. I'm very conscious of the gravity of this matter.
As you wish.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence which I shall give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
What is your full name, please?
James Martin Sturgis of the Larches, Tamarack, Ontario.
Do you know the prisoner, William Sutcliffe?
Yes, I employed him for several months at the Sturgis Tannery, of which I am the proprietor.
It's very good of you to come and help us, Mr. Sturgis. Now, the matter upon which I should like your personal opinion...
My lord...
Yes, Mr. Best?
Since the witness has chosen to give evidence on oath, is it not the prerogative of the defense to question?
Yes, you are quite correct. And your learned friend, Mr. Pierce, will have an opportunity to cross-examine in due course.
If was in your employ, did you form an opinion about his work?
He was an absolutely first-class man. As I've often said, I wish I had 20 of them.
Did you ever have cause to doubt his honesty?
None.
You have heard, no doubt, that the man Sutcliffe has been convicted of a very grave offense, that of stealing from his employer, Mr. Reed.
I've heard that, yes.
Before his lordship passes judgment, have you anything to say in behalf of the prisoner?
I think it would be a great pity if William Sutcliffe were sent to prison. I believe if he were shown compassion, he would abundantly justify your lordship's clemency.
Thank you, Mr. Sturgis. Mr. Pierce, have you any questions?
I know your time is valuable, Mr. Sturgis. I won't keep you long. For how many months was Sutcliffe in your employment?
I can't remember exactly, about 6.
Only 6 months? But you considered him such a paragon.
Well, he wanted to move on. He had ambitions.
Yes, so we've heard. It must have been quite a wrench for you to part with him.
I was sorry to see him go. As I've said, he was a very hard worker.
Yes, and since he was such a hard worker, and you were so sorry to see him go, no doubt you gave him excellent references, Mr. Sturgis.
I can't recall. I'm sure I did.
Have you brought copies of those references into court?
No, I'm sorry.
No matter. They can't have been very effective, can they? When Sutcliffe first came to Toronto, he was unemployed for almost a year until Mr. Reed, in his charity, took him on.
I know nothing of that, of course.
I don't wish to cause you any embarrassment, but I'm putting it to you that he was not an honest employee, and that that's why you got rid of him. Isn't that the truth, Mr. Sturgis?
Well, we had our differences.
I respect your motives in coming here today. No doubt you consider it your Christian duty to speak up for a man in jeopardy. But the court must know the truth. Did he steal from you as he stole from Mr. Reed?
No, I wouldn't say that.
What would you say then? Remember, you're on oath.
Well, there was an accident at the tannery. Sutcliffe slipped and fell into a vat. He wasn't badly injured, but he pretended he had been. He tried to claim compensation. He made certain threats, but nevertheless.
No more questions, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Sturgis.
He's an excellent workman.
I think we've heard enough.
He's really excellent.
I will pass sentence now.
The prisoner will stand.
William Sutcliffe, you have been found guilty of a very serious crime. The maximum sentence provided by the law is one of 14 years penal servitude. Because of your youth, and because this is the first conviction, the court proposes to be lenient. You will go to prison for 5 years. This court now stands adjourned.
All rise.
You look after you. Come back with us.
back there.
And I don't intend to. Never.
All right, now there it is.
A is on boots, mincemeat, and jams. B can be reed baskets, pipe racks. C is wool goods and quilts.
Who is that I'm going to strike with my boot before the day's out?
What's she going to do now, they said. She'll pine away, they said. No, she will not, I said. You watch for that woman when she gets moving again.
Is that what you want?
What I really want is to turn you upside down in that large mud hole out there.
Certainly she'll be able to wait. Why wouldn't she?
Because you're here.
No.
As I return to yesterday.
Coming up next, keep the lights on and spend some time with the master of the macabre. Take a trip into the realm of mystery and suspense on Alfred Hitchcock Presents, next, only on Showcase. Viewer discretion is advised.
Friends with loving ways will be for me to sing to. But if they are not the same as I've known them, still I would have all that I would need. Come tell of days so fine and oh so fair, once more to love again and all forgiving, of one with shining eyes and tender years, whom I'll be holding to my heart and never leaving.